what's going on? It's your boy Phoenix here, and welcome back to a brand new Marvel Spider-Man 2 informational video. And in today's video, we're going to be discussing how Marvel Spider-Man 2 could lay the groundwork, or at least the final piece of the groundwork, for Norman to transform into the Goblin. So without a doubt, if you guys haven't already, make sure to go ahead and hit that like button down below, and let's go ahead and jump right into it. So this article from Game Rant says Marvel Spider-Man 2 may be laying the groundwork for Norman Osborn's transformation into the Green Goblin. The upcoming game suggests that Harry Osborne will be Venom, which could cause Norman to snap and assume the persona of the supervillain. The game's plot may involve the death of Harry Osborne, leading Norman Osborn to blame Spider-Man and take on the role of Green Goblin to get his revenge. Now, with this, I feel like there is obviously going to be a lot of groundwork laid because we did see all the groundwork in Osborn's penthouse, and we did see the Goblin blueprint in the Grand Terminal Station mission with MJ. And on top of that, to mention, for the fact that if Harry dies, then Norman would honestly blame Spider-Man and he would turn into the Goblin. This has already been kind of Easter eggy a little bit, and I feel like this is going to happen. Everybody knows it's going to happen. We need Norman Osborn to be Goblin. We do not need a repeat of this. So following that, it says, in late 2021, Marvel Spider-Man 2 was officially revealed by Sony and developer Insomniac Games. The trailer itself revealed that both Venom and Kraven the Hunter would appear in the game as the apparent antagonists. However, Marvel Spider-Man 2 may also be laying the groundwork for another major villain, aka our boy, the legendary GOAT himself, the villain of all villains, the Green Goblin. But following that, it says, throughout Marvel Spider-Man games, Norman Osborn has made numerous appearances in a rather unexpected role. It's unclear how big of a part he will have in the second game, but the next installment appears to be in a prime position to set him up for something big. Arguments have already been made for Green Goblin to appear in Marvel Spider-Man 2, but it seems more likely that the upcoming game is laying the groundwork for Norman's transformation in the next entry, which it is kind of laying the groundwork already because we did see all the Easter eggs in Marvel Spider-Man 2018. And with that, it seems like this could be Norman's final push for him to become Green Goblin, which will be Harry's death. But following that, it says, in the Marvel Spider-Man games, Norman Osborn is something of a background antagonist. In the first game, he is the mayor of New York City, as well as the owner of Oscorp. Following the bombing of a re-election rally, he hired Silver Sable and Sable International to take over protecting the city. This results in New York City turning into something of a police state, and the new mercenary force frequently clashed with Spider-Man and his allies throughout the game's story. We already know this for a fact because it happened multiple times in the story. She thought that Spider-Man was loose cannon. Norman was also against Spider-Man as well in the game, based on the fact that Norman rented him a criminal of the state. So with the fact that, you know, he's been a background antagonist, and on top of that, not to mention for the fact that he was also involved in human experiments and as well as gave Mr. Lee his powers as well, which was automatic. And on top of that, not for the fact that he also did an experiment on Harry as well. So I feel like that could play a key factor. Say if Harry does survive, that could play a key factor in Harry finding out that he was a human test subject as well. So that could play a huge factor if Harry finds out about Norman doing all these human experiments, and after that he's going to find out that he was also a test subject as well. Following that, it says, one of the first game's more original takes on the Spider-Man villains is that most of them were just out to hurt Norman Osborn. Mr. Negative's various terrorist attacks and use of Devil's Breath are all a part of the revenge scheme against the mayor. Later on, Dr. Otto Octavius takes over the role of the main antagonist, who likewise had a long-standing antagonistic relationship with Norman Osborn. The after credits ending of Marvel Spider-Man, however, had a bit of a twist to them and could very well set up the character's eventual role as the Green Goblin, which we all know, and for the fact that's alluding to this, Harry's death is going to have to set him up as Goblin, and I do 100% think that will happen. But following that, it says, the after credits ending of the first game and Spider-Man Miles Morales pointed at an unconventional host for the upcoming installment's antagonist. At the moment, it appears that Harry Osborn will be Venom in Marvel Spider-Man 2. While this hasn't been confirmed by Insomniac Games, the trailers do highly suggest it, and this may be what could cause Norman Osborn to snap. With this, I do believe, if you guys don't know about that 4chan leak from a while back, I do 100% do not think that that is true, because we need Norman to transform into Goblin, and Harry's death could be the kicker, like I've been saying this whole entire time. But here's the thing though, it's for the fact that we do not know the host of Venom. So if Harry does die as Venom, then that could push Norman over the top. Along with for the fact that, as we know in Marvel Spider-Man 2018, when Devil's Breath started to break out, MJ said it came from a Oscorp lab, and Norman never made a comment on it. And on top of that, for the fact that, say, if the symbiote does end up coming from Oscorp or whatever, seeing as that it is going to be coming from Oscorp, they're going to figure out that Norman played a part in Harry's death. Following that, it says, up until this point, the main antagonists of Marvel Spider-Man games have been very sympathetic. While the methods are very questionable, the primary motivation behind all of their actions is to take down extremely immoral companies run by very bad people. While Norman Osborn himself is not presented as a good person in the games, it's clear that he does care for his son. Now, we do know for a fact this is a proven fact, because of the fact that we saw for the fact that Norman loves his son at the end of that trailer. Harry is mentioned throughout, some of Norman's dialogue. So it's true that he does care for his son. So with this, they're doing it in vice versa of a lot of inspiration from Tasm, to where it's his mother over his father. So that's a very unique take on it as well. But it's very clear that Norman does care for his son compared to all the other Normans that really didn't care. Now, what I said, this will push over the edge. If Harry does die, yes, this is 100% very possible, because Harry has to be the trigger for him to become Goblin. But following that, it says if Harry Osborn is Venom, it's possible that he will not survive the length of the game. Whether he meets his end due to some heroic self-sacrifice, the disease he is said to be suffering from, or in battle with Miles, Peter, or Kraven the Hunter. There's no guarantee he'll live to see the end credits. Either way, it is likely that Norman would blame Spider-Man for Harry's death. Now, this is 100% what I think could end up happening. A lot of people are saying this as well, and I do believe that Harry is going to die, because we need to see Goblin, and we need to see Norman blame Spider-Man for that, and eventually, whenever Marvel Spider-Man 3 could come out, say at some point, or this is how I think this could go. I feel like it could go this way. At the end, Norman's probably going to realize that there is a similarity in Spider-Man's voice, and he's going to realize that it is Peter at some point. He's going to realize that he's going to add every single scenario up about every single time that he's heard his voice, and it's going to be like, yeah, he's Spider-Man. So Peter, he's going to think that Peter killed his son. But following that, it says, in the end, there's no way to say for certain what the next Spider-Man game holds. Marvel Spider-Man 2 has a few obvious paths for him, but advertising could be a sleight of hand trick on Insomniac Games' part. It's likely that fans won't know for sure until the game is released. If everything is what it appears to be, then Marvel Spider-Man 2 could very well be using Harry Osborn's Venom to set up the Green Goblin for an eventual Marvel Spider-Man 3. Now, I do believe that they are going to do a Spider-Man 3, because, come on, it's obvious that they're going to do a Marvel Spider-Man 3, because, Goblin's already technically set up in the first game. So, like I said before, I do feel like Harry Osborn is going to be the kicker that is going to make Norman turn. So let me know what you guys think down below, because I really do 100% honestly think, and this has been my theory for the longest time, that I think Harry is going to die, because we do need Goblin in the third game. So without a doubt, it's been your boy Phoenix, and I'll see you guys later with another spectacular Spidey webtastic banger.